Welcome, cosmic explorers, to another journey through the mysterious realms of the zodiac. Today's expedition takes us into dangerous territory, the fiery domain of Aries, and the perilous consequences of wearing a mask in their presence. The cardinal fire sign, represented by the mighty ram, stands as the zodiac's warrior, fierce, direct, and uncompromisingly authentic. If you've ever considered being anything less than completely genuine with an Aries, this revelation might be the most important astrological insight you'll ever receive. The stars have aligned to bring you this critical warning. Fakeness with an Aries creates cosmic consequences that ripple through your entire relationship universe. Imagine standing before a force of nature, the raw primal energy of Mars embodied in human form, and attempting to shield your true intentions behind a veil of insincerity. The outcome is as predictable as the sunrise and twice as scorching. What makes this knowledge so essential is that many mistake the Aries' directness for simplicity. They believe the ram can be easily misdirected or manipulated with clever words or calculated behaviors. This fundamental misunderstanding leads countless relationships with Aries natives to spectacular fiery conclusions that could have been entirely avoided with one simple approach: radical honesty. The cosmos designed Aries as the zodiac's first sign for a reason. They pioneer truth in a world comfortable with convenient lies. They charge headfirst into authenticity, while others hide behind social niceties. This positioning grants them an almost supernatural ability to detect dishonesty, a celestial gift that makes them formidable allies, but terrifying adversaries when crossed. Every Aries carries within them the elemental fire of creation itself, the same cosmic force that forged the stars. This internal flame illuminates falsehoods like shadows, disappearing at high noon. When you approach an Aries with anything less than your most authentic self, you're not just risking a relationship. You're challenging the fundamental order of the zodiac itself. The wisdom we're about to share comes from ancient astrological traditions, modern psychological insights, and countless real-world examples of those who learned these lessons the hardest way possible. From romantic partnerships shattered beyond repair to friendships incinerated in moments of revealed deception, the pattern remains consistent across the astrological record. Authenticity with Aries isn't just preferred, it's required for survival. Before we dive deeper into the 12 specific reasons never to be fake with an Aries, take this moment to join our cosmic community. The knowledge shared in this channel doesn't just entertain, it transforms relationships, prevents heartbreak, and aligns your life with the authentic power of the stars. Hit that subscribe button now to ensure the zodiac's most crucial insights find their way to you. Smash the like button to help these celestial truths reach others who might be risking everything by being insincere with the Aries in their life. The journey we're embarking on today isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about understanding how to harness the incredible loyalty, passion, and protection that comes from an authentic connection with an Aries. When approached with honesty, no sign fights harder for those they love. No sign demonstrates more courage in defending their circle. No sign offers more passionate devotion to those who've earned their trust through unwavering authenticity. As the veil between cosmic understanding and everyday relationships thins, we begin to see how the seemingly simple act of being fake with an Aries connects to deeper universal principles about truth, energy, and natural consequences. The ram doesn't just dislike dishonesty, they're cosmically designed to eradicate it from their experience with the full force of their ruling planet Mars, the cosmic warrior himself. Let's begin our exploration with the first 3 critical reasons why being fake with an Aries leads to consequences that extend far beyond a momentary uncomfortable confrontation. These initial insights reveal how the Aries truth detection system operates at levels most other signs can barely comprehend. Reason number 1. Aries possesses what can only be described as a supernatural truth detector that sees through your facade immediately. This isn't mere intuition or casual observation. It's an evolutionary trait developed in the cosmic forge where the ram was created. When you stand before an Aries with anything less than complete authenticity, you might as well be illuminated by spotlights on a darkened stage. Their perception cuts through layers of social conditioning, rehearsed responses, and carefully constructed personas with the precision of a celestial surgeon. What makes this truth detection system so formidable is its connection to Mars, the planet of action, aggression, and primal instinct. While other signs might intellectualize deception or process it emotionally, Aries experiences dishonesty as an immediate physical sensation. Many Aries natives describe it as a distinct pressure in their chest, a tightening at the base of their skull, or a sudden drop in temperature when someone presents them with anything less than absolute truth. This instinctive reaction bypasses their conscious mind, making it impossible to ignore or rationalize away. And Aries might not immediately know what specifically rings false, but their internal alarm system never fails to activate. This explains why many Aries appear suddenly distant or irritated without explanation. They're responding to deception you believe remains perfectly concealed. The ram's truth detection operates across all communication channels: verbal statements, body language, text messages, even the energy you bring into a room. Attempting to compartmentalize your fakeness is futile. You might successfully deceive others with your carefully constructed mask, but the Aries in your life registers the dissonance between your words and reality with painful clarity. Reason number 2. An Aries never forgets betrayal. Their memory for dishonesty is eternal. While some signs might eventually soften their position or allow time to heal wounds of deception, Aries carries the memory of falsehood with remarkable permanence. This isn't petty grudge holding or emotional immaturity. It's a survival mechanism hardwired into their cosmic DNA. The first sign of the zodiac evolved to remember threats as a way of protecting not just themselves, but their entire tribe. This eternal memory functions like celestial record-keeping, cataloging every instance where authenticity was compromised. Many mistakenly believe the ram's fiery nature means they flare up quickly, but forget just as fast. This dangerous misconception leads to repeated patterns of casual dishonesty under the assumption that an Aries' forgiveness will quickly follow their anger. The truth lies in understanding how the Aries memory system operates. While they may appear to move past incidents of deception, returning to normal interactions, maintaining surface-level pleasantries, even laughing and sharing experiences, beneath this social interface, the record remains unaltered. The memory doesn't fade with time or diminish with positive experiences. Instead, it becomes integrated into their fundamental understanding of who you are. This explains the puzzling experience many report of being suddenly cut off by an Aries after years of seemingly normal relations. What appears as an overreaction to a minor transgression is actually the final entry in a comprehensive ledger of falsehoods that finally exceeded the ram's threshold for tolerance. From the Aries perspective, they're not overreacting to a single incident. They're responding to a pattern finally recognized as unignorable. Reason number 3. When provoked by fakeness, their fiery temper erupts with volcanic intensity. The Aries' response to detected deception represents perhaps the most physically demonstrative reaction in the entire zodiac. Unlike water signs who might internalize the pain of betrayal, or air signs who intellectualize the experience, the ram's fire element transforms the energy of dishonesty into immediate, visible action. This volcanic reaction follows a distinctive pattern that astrologers have documented across thousands of Aries natives. The initial detection of fakeness triggers a physiological response: dilated pupils, increased heart rate, and a surge of adrenaline that prepares the ram for confrontation. This biological reaction explains why Aries rarely chooses the path of quiet resentment or passive aggression. Their body literally prepares them for direct action. What makes this response particularly dangerous is its connection to Mars's influence over confrontation and conflict. The red planet doesn't simply make Aries angry, it transforms them into cosmic warriors, temporarily immune to social consequences or future repercussions. In this activated state, the ram operates from a place of primal justice rather than calculated self-interest. The intensity of this reaction often shocks those who've only experienced the warm, passionate, and generous aspects of Aries' nature. The contrast between their typical enthusiasm and their response to fakeness creates cognitive dissonance in witnesses. How could someone so warm become so implacably cold in an instant? The answer lies in understanding that authenticity forms the foundation of the Aries worldview. Remove it, and everything else crumbles. Perhaps most unsettling is the ram's capacity for proportional response. Minor fakeness might trigger a contained but unmistakable warning. Direct questions, intensified eye contact, or sudden withdrawal of their characteristic warmth. But significant deception, particularly after trust has been established, activates what many Aries natives describe as the inferno, a state of such focused, confrontational energy that even the most conflict-averse individuals find themselves unable to deflect or diffuse. This response isn't limited to personal interactions. Aries extends this authenticity standard to organizations, businesses, and public figures. Their social media often features passionate call-outs of perceived hypocrisy or institutional dishonesty. The Ram feels personally obligated to confront fakeness wherever they encounter it, a cosmic responsibility encoded in their astrological blueprint. Understanding these first three reasons, their supernatural detection, eternal memory, and volcanic response, reveals why authenticity with Aries isn't merely preferred, but required for sustainable connection. These aren't simply personality quirks or emotional reactions. They're fundamental aspects of the Ram's cosmic design, as integral to their nature as their characteristic courage and leadership. Reason number 4, authenticity isn't just preferred by Aries, it's their core value system, and anything less than complete honesty is seen as an unforgivable violation of their trust. To truly understand the Aries relationship with authenticity, we must recognize that for the Ram, honesty transcends mere communication preference and exists as a fundamental worldview. While many signs value truth conditionally, appreciating honesty when it's beneficial, but accepting necessary social deceptions, Aries operates from an entirely different philosophical foundation. For them, authenticity represents the primary currency of human interaction, the essential ingredient without which no relationship can truly exist. This value system emerges directly from the Ram's position as the zodiac's pioneer. As the first sign, Aries embodies the primal emergence of identity itself, the cosmic moment when consciousness declares, "I am." This existential position makes authenticity not simply desirable, but existentially necessary. To be fake with an Aries isn't merely disappointing them, it's challenging their fundamental understanding of reality. Psychological studies of Aries natives reveal a fascinating pattern. They experience significantly higher physiological stress responses when forced to operate in environments where truth is regularly compromised. Corporate cultures that encourage strategic omissions, social circles that thrive on gossip, or family systems built around convenient lies literally create physical discomfort for the Ram. Their nervous system registers these environments as actively hostile, triggering the same responses as physical danger. This explains why Aries often makes seemingly abrupt career changes, relationship decisions, or social circle adjustments that puzzle others. What appears as impulsiveness is actually a highly tuned survival response to environments that have become inauthentic beyond their tolerance threshold. The Ram isn't being dramatic, they're responding to conditions that threaten their fundamental sense of self. Reason number 5. Aries will call you out publicly without hesitation if they detect fakeness, believing that public offenses deserve public consequences. Perhaps no aspect of the Aries response to inauthenticity creates more social discomfort than their commitment to public accountability. In an era where private conversations about public transgressions are considered socially appropriate, the Ram's insistence on addressing falsehood in the setting where it occurred strikes many as unnecessarily confrontational. Yet understanding the astrological principles behind this behavior reveals its cosmic necessity. Ruled by Mars, the planet of direct action, Aries fundamentally believes in alignment between recognition and response. When someone presents an inauthentic version of themselves or a situation in a public setting, the damage occurs in that public space, affecting not just the Ram, but everyone present who might be deceived. From the Aries perspective, addressing the fakeness privately would leave the public deception uncorrected, allowing its consequences to continue spreading. This commitment to public accountability manifests in specific recognizable patterns. The characteristic Aries approach begins with a direct question that cuts through pretense. Did you really mean what you just said? Or, that doesn't match what you told me earlier. Which version is true? These questions emerge not as planned attacks, but as spontaneous responses to detected dissonance between stated claims and perceived reality. What makes this public calling out particularly powerful is the ram's unflinching commitment to maintaining eye contact throughout the confrontation. Mars's influence gives Aries unusual comfort with the physiological symptoms of confrontation: increased heart rate, adrenaline surges, heightened awareness that make others look away. This steady gaze creates an intensity that many experience as almost unbearable, compelling truthful responses when all other approaches have failed. Importantly, this public accountability isn't motivated by a desire to embarrass or control. Astrologers note that Aries demonstrates remarkable restraint when falsehoods stem from genuine confusion, misunderstanding, or unintentional error. Their volcanic response activates specifically for deliberate deception, the conscious choice to present falsehood as truth. The ram possesses an almost uncanny ability to distinguish between honest mistakes and calculated fakeness. Reason number 6, their circle of trust is fortress-like. Once you're exiled for being fake, re-entry is nearly impossible, unlike more forgiving signs who readily offer second chances. The Aries approach to trust operates on principles more absolute than most other signs can comprehend. While water signs might eventually dissolve boundaries through emotional connection, earth signs pragmatically reassess based on changed behavior, and air signs intellectually reconsider based on new information. The ram's fire creates boundaries of remarkable permanence once betrayed by fakeness. This fortress-like approach to trust stems from the cardinal fire nature of Aries. As a cardinal sign, they establish fundamental patterns and foundational structures. As a fire sign, what they create tends toward permanence through transformation, like clay hardened in flame. When an Aries establishes someone as untrustworthy, this judgment undergoes a metaphysical hardening that resists erosion by time, apologies, or subsequent good behavior. The neurology behind this response reveals why second chances with Aries are so rare after authenticity has been breached. Research suggests that fire signs create particularly strong neural pathways for emotional memories, especially those involving betrayal. These reinforced neural connections literally change how the ram's brain processes information about individuals who have demonstrated fakeness. Subsequent interactions get filtered through this altered neural architecture, creating a perpetual vigilance that makes genuine reconnection nearly impossible. This explains the puzzling experience many report of seemingly minor transgressions permanently altering their relationship with an Aries. What appeared as a small moment of convenience, a white lie, a strategic omission, a socially acceptable exaggeration, activated neural and energetic patterns that fundamentally transformed how the ram experiences that relationship. From the Aries perspective, they didn't choose this permanent alteration. It happened automatically as their authentic self responded to detected inauthenticity. The fortress doesn't merely have high walls, it has a sophisticated classification system. Aries distinguishes between different categories of fakeness with remarkable precision, pretending expertise you don't possess, claiming credit for others' work, manufacturing false emotional responses, fabricating experiences, misrepresenting intentions. Each type of inauthenticity triggers specific patterns of distrust tailored to the particular betrayal. This explains why some relationships with Aries seem partially functional after betrayal, while remaining permanently damaged in specific domains. Understanding these three central reasons, authenticity as core value system, commitment to public accountability, and fortress-like boundaries around trust, illuminates why being fake with an Aries creates consequences far beyond momentary discomfort. These aren't simply emotional reactions, but expressions of the ram's cosmic purpose as guardians of authenticity in a world increasingly comfortable with deception. Reason number 7. Their Mars-ruled energy means they fight for truth with warrior-like dedication, mounting a campaign against fakeness rather than simply walking away. To fully comprehend the Aries response to detected inauthenticity, we must understand that Mars doesn't merely influence the ram, it infuses every cell of their being with the cosmic warrior's essence. This planetary rulership transforms their reaction to fakeness from passive disappointment into active campaign. Where other signs might simply distance themselves from deception, Aries engages with it directly, confronting falsehood with the same strategic determination that characterizes historical warriors facing an enemy on the battlefield. This warrior-like dedication manifests in a systematic approach that astrologers have documented across thousands of Aries natives. The process begins with recognition, the moment their truth detector activates. Next comes assessment, evaluating the scope, intention, and potential damage of the fakeness. Then strategy, determining the most effective approach to neutralize the deception. Finally, execution, implementing their chosen response with characteristic Aryan directness and courage. What makes this process particularly formidable is the ram's ability to sustain their campaign across extraordinary periods. The same determination that allows Aries to pioneer new territories, launch ambitious projects, or overcome seemingly impossible obstacles gets redirected toward eliminating fakeness from their environment. This explains reports of Aries maintaining boundaries against deceptive individuals for decades without wavering. Even when such commitment requires significant personal sacrifice, the warrior's dedication operates with particular intensity in close relationships. When an Aries detects fakeness from someone they've allowed into their intimate circle, their response combines tactical precision with emotional intensity in a way unique to fire signs. Unlike Sagittarius, whose philosophical approach might seek understanding of why someone chose deception, or Leo, whose regal nature might focus on the betrayal's impact on their dignity, Aries approaches fakeness as an existential threat, requiring immediate neutralization. This warrior-like commitment to truth often surprises those who have only experienced the ram's generous, enthusiastic, and passionate qualities. Many mistakenly interpret Aries' straightforward nature as simplicity, failing to recognize the sophisticated battle readiness that underlies their approach to authenticity. The same individual who approaches life with childlike wonder and excitement can transform into a strategic opponent of remarkable capability when confronted with deliberate deception. Reason number 8. Aries, friends defend each other ferociously. Deceive one and you've made enemies with their entire tribe, as their loyalty to authentic relationships extends to protecting their circle from those who've shown dishonesty. Perhaps no aspect of the Aries approach to authenticity creates more far-reaching consequences than their tribal protection response. The ram's commitment to truth extends beyond their personal boundaries to encompass their entire social circle, creating a network effect that amplifies the consequences of fakeness exponentially. Deceive an Aries, and you haven't just lost one relationship, you've potentially compromised your standing with their entire community. This tribal protection system operates through what anthropologists might recognize as a sophisticated information sharing network. When Aries detects inauthenticity, they don't simply process the experience privately. They communicate it clearly to their trusted circle, not as casual gossip, but as essential security information. This person demonstrated fakeness in this specific way, and I believe you should be aware for your protection. This warning comes not from vindictiveness, but from genuine concern for their community's well-being. What makes this tribal response particularly significant is the credibility Aries typically holds within their social groups. Even in circles where the ram's intensity occasionally raises eyebrows, their assessment of character receives serious consideration. This influence stems from their consistent track record of accurate judgment regarding authenticity. When an Aries declares someone untrustworthy, their community has often witnessed previous instances where similar warnings proved prescient, The protection extends beyond passive information sharing to active intervention. Many report experiencing an Aries physically positioning themselves between friends and individuals who have previously demonstrated fakeness. In professional settings, the ram often creates strategic barriers that limit a deceptive person's access to their colleagues. In social environments, they redirect conversations, rearrange seating, or explicitly challenge re-entry of inauthentic individuals into group settings. This tribal response explains why being fake with an Aries creates consequences that extend far beyond the initial relationship. The ram's influence often reaches into professional networks, social circles, and community groups, creating ripple effects that can impact everything from career opportunities to social standing. What began as a seemingly private deception transforms into a community-wide reassessment of trustworthiness. Reason number 9. They would rather hear a painful truth than a comforting lie and expect exactly the same from you, viewing sugarcoating or white lies as disrespectful rather than considerate. The Aries' relationship with truth reaches its most profound expression in their preference for painful honesty over comforting deception. While many signs might appreciate gentle delivery of difficult information, the ram experiences attempts to soften reality as fundamentally disrespectful, a denial of their capacity to face life directly. This preference isn't merely philosophical, but emerges from their cosmic position as the zodiac's warrior, designed to confront reality in its most unvarnished form. This truth preference manifests most visibly in how Aries handles challenging conversations. When delivering difficult information, they typically choose clarity over comfort, believing that precision serves the recipient better than protection. Your presentation wasn't effective because these specific points confused the audience, rather than, the presentation had some interesting elements, but might benefit from a few adjustments. This directness often shocks those accustomed to more cushioned feedback. More telling is how Aries reacts when receiving information. Their body language shifts forward rather than away when sensing a difficult truth approaching. Their eye contact intensifies, their focus sharpens, and their energy visibly engages. This physiological preparation for reality, whatever it might be, represents one of the ram's most admirable qualities. They don't simply tolerate truth, they actively prepare themselves to receive it without flinching. The Aries' preference for painful truth extends to their expectations of others, creating a reciprocal authenticity standard that many find challenging to meet. When someone offers the ram a gentle deception rather than a difficult reality, they experience this not as consideration, but as a denial of their fundamental nature. "I thought you respected me enough to tell me the truth," emerges as a common Aries response to discovered sugarcoating, revealing how deeply they connect authenticity with respect. This preference explains why relationships with Aries often reach unusual depths of intimacy, despite, or perhaps because of, their demanding authenticity standards. When both parties commit to radical honesty, a distinctive form of trust emerges. Conversations occur without second-guessing or hidden agendas. Feedback becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of anxiety. The relationship develops a foundation of reliability that supports remarkable vulnerability, innovation, and collaboration. Understanding these 3 aspects of the warrior's response, their campaign-like dedication to truth, their tribal protection system, and their preference for painful honesty over comfortable deception, reveals why being fake with an Aries creates consequences beyond simple rejection. Their active engagement with inauthenticity transforms what might have been a private disconnection into a comprehensive realignment of social dynamics. Reason number 10. As the first sign of the zodiac, others follow their lead in cutting you off, causing a domino effect where an Aries' declaration of someone as untrustworthy influences others to reconsider their relationship with that person too. The cosmic positioning of Aries as the inaugural sign of the zodiac grants them leadership influence that extends far beyond their immediate actions. This primacy doesn't simply affect their personal traits, but establishes them as celestial trendsetters whose judgments create ripple effects throughout social ecosystems. When an Aries determines someone has violated authenticity standards, their response doesn't just alter one relationship. It catalyzes a community-wide reassessment that can fundamentally transform someone's social standing. This leadership effect operates through specific observable patterns. Initially, the ram's reaction to fakeness creates a permission structure that allows others to acknowledge discomfort they might have previously suppressed. Many report experiencing an almost audible click of recognition when an Aries articulates concerns about someone's authenticity. Suddenly, patterns that seemed vaguely troubling crystallize into clear evidence. "I thought it was just me" becomes a common refrain as others realize their intuitive discomfort has external validation. What makes this influence particularly significant is the Aries approach to such declarations. Unlike signs that might enjoy the social power of exposing deception, the Ram typically delivers their assessment with straightforward factuality rather than dramatic embellishment. "This happened. This was said. These were the contradictions I observed," presented not as gossip but as essential information. This matter-of-fact delivery carries unusual credibility precisely because it lacks emotional manipulation or apparent agenda. The leadership ripple effect gains additional momentum through the characteristic Aries' willingness to act first and independently. While many might privately question someone's authenticity, social pressure often prevents direct response. The Ram's willingness to establish clear boundaries without waiting for consensus creates a pathway others can follow without bearing the full social cost of initiation. If Aries can maintain this boundary, perhaps I can too, becomes an unspoken permission that gradually transforms group dynamics. Perhaps most significantly, the Aries' influence extends beyond their immediate circle to shape institutional standards. In professional environments, the Ram often becomes the unofficial guardian of organizational integrity, the individual willing to name inconsistencies between stated values and actual behaviors. This leadership function, while rarely acknowledged formally, establishes authenticity benchmarks that influence collective expectations and practices long after specific incidents have faded from memory. Reason number 11, their passionate nature invests fully in relationships. Betraying that investment triggers their deepest rage, as few signs commit as completely as Aries, making their reaction to betrayal proportionately intense. To comprehend the intensity of the Aries' response to fakeness, we must understand the extraordinary depth of their relational investment. The Ram doesn't simply participate in connections, they commit their entire being with a wholehearted abandon that makes their subsequent sense of betrayal proportionately profound. This isn't emotional volatility, but mathematical equivalence. The reaction precisely matches the scale of original investment. This passionate investment manifests through distinctive behavioral patterns. Aries typically approaches new relationships with remarkable optimism, extending trust more readily than most signs would consider prudent. This isn't naivety, but a conscious choice to believe in human potential. The Ram offers others the opportunity to meet their authenticity standard, rather than requiring proof before investment. This generosity of spirit makes the subsequent discovery of fakeness particularly devastating. What distinguishes the Aries investment pattern is its comprehensiveness. When the Ram commits to a relationship, whether romantic, friendship, or professional, they integrate that connection into every aspect of their existence. They share resources without hesitation, create space in their schedule without resentment, and redirect energy towards supporting the other's goals as naturally as pursuing their own. This thoroughness of commitment explains why fakeness triggers such profound rage. It doesn't just disappoint one expectation, but undermines an entire life structure. The intensity of their reaction stems from the Mars-influenced capacity for total presence. Unlike signs that naturally maintain partial detachment or emotional hedging, Aries engages with complete attention and unguarded vulnerability. When speaking with you, they're fully with you, listening intently, responding authentically, and offering unfiltered access to their thoughts and feelings. This quality of presence creates connections of unusual intensity, making the discovery of fakeness feel like fundamental betrayal rather than mere disappointment. Neuroscience offers additional insight into this extraordinary reaction. Research suggests that fire signs experience unusually strong activation in brain regions associated with trust and betrayal. When Aries detects deception from someone in whom they've invested deeply, their neurological response resembles that associated with physical pain more than emotional disappointment. This physiological reaction explains why their response often appears disproportionate to outside observers. They're literally experiencing a form of neurological injury. Reason number 12. An Aries' intuition about character is their superpower. Challenging it with fakeness is a battle you cannot win, as they trust their gut implicitly about people, and fighting against their instincts only confirms their suspicions. The final and perhaps most insurmountable aspect of the Aries authenticity system lies in their extraordinary intuitive capacity. While all fire signs demonstrate strong instinctual responses, the Ram possesses a uniquely refined ability to detect character inconsistencies through what many describe as instant knowing. This intuition operates not as vague feeling, but as immediate recognition, a clear internal signal that registers truth or falsehood with remarkable accuracy. This intuitive superpower manifests through specific physiological indicators. Aries frequently reports experiencing distinct bodily sensations when encountering inauthenticity, a tightening in the solar plexus, a subtle shift in breathing pattern, or a momentary disorientation that signals dissonance between presented persona and actual intention. These responses occur instantaneously, often before conscious mind can analyze the interaction, providing advance warning of potential fakeness. What makes this intuition particularly powerful is the Ram's unshakable trust in these internal signals. Unlike signs that might question their instinctive responses or seek external validation before acting on intuition, Aries accepts these messages as fundamental truth. I know what I know becomes their operating principle, creating a foundation of self-trust that remains unshaken even when others question their assessment or when social pressure encourages doubt. This intuitive certainty explains why attempting to convince an Aries they've misinterpreted someone's authenticity invariably backfires. Each argument offered against their intuitive knowing only triggers deeper investigation, causing them to retrospectively identify previously overlooked evidence that supports their original assessment. What began as intuition transforms through this process into comprehensive understanding, strengthening rather than weakening their position. Most significantly, the Aries intuitive system improves with age and experience. While younger Rams might occasionally override their instincts due to inexperience or social pressure, mature Aries individuals develop increasingly sophisticated pattern recognition that enhances their already formidable intuition. By midlife, most have compiled an extensive internal database of authenticity indicators that allows them to identify specific categories of fakeness with extraordinary precision. Understanding these final three aspects of the Aries approach to authenticity, their zodiac leadership influence, their extraordinary relational investment, and their unshakable intuitive knowing, completes our exploration of why being fake with a Ram creates consequences of unusual magnitude and permanence. These aren't simply personality quirks, but expressions of cosmic design, the natural manifestation of primal fire directed toward establishing and maintaining truth in human connection. As our exploration of these 12 reasons concludes, we recognize that the Aries' insistence on authenticity isn't merely personal preference, but cosmic necessity. In a world increasingly comfortable with strategic deception and calculated persona, the Ram stands as guardian of primal truth, demanding through their very being that we present ourselves with the same courage and clarity they naturally embody. Their uncompromising standard reminds us that genuine connection requires genuine presence, that meaningful relationship depends on meaning what we say and being who we claim to be. The cosmic wisdom we've explored reveals why authenticity with Aries isn't merely preferred, but essential for anyone wishing to maintain a relationship with the zodiac's powerful first sign. we've unveiled 12 compelling reasons that illuminate the Ram's unique relationship with truth, from their supernatural ability to detect deception to their unshakable trust in their own intuitive knowing. We discovered how Aries possesses an almost otherworldly truth detection system, operating through both conscious awareness and subconscious physical signals that register fakeness with remarkable precision. We learned that once betrayed, the Ram's memory creates permanent records that resist erasure, regardless of subsequent behavior or passage of time. Their fiery temper, when provoked by inauthenticity, erupts with volcanic intensity precisely proportional to their level of initial trust. Our exploration revealed how Aries establishes authenticity as their core value system, experiencing environments of routine deception as physically uncomfortable and sometimes unbearable. Their commitment to public accountability ensures that fakeness receives appropriate response in the setting where it occurred, preventing the spread of deception to others who might otherwise be affected. The fortress-like nature of their trust boundaries means that once exiled for inauthenticity, re-entry becomes nearly impossible, a reality many learn too late. We witnessed how the warrior spirit of Aries transforms their response to fakeness from passive disappointment to active campaign, approaching detected deception with strategic determination. Reminiscent of historical battlefield commanders, their fierce protection of their authentic circle means that deceiving one Aries potentially compromises relationships with their entire community. Their preference for painful truths over comforting lies establishes reciprocal authenticity standards that create relationships of unusual depth and resilience. Finally, we uncovered how the Ram's position as zodiac leader amplifies these responses beyond individual reaction to community-wide influence, establishing authenticity benchmarks that shape collective expectations. Their extraordinary relational investment explains the proportional intensity of their response when that investment meets betrayal. Their unshakable trust in their intuitive knowing about character makes challenging their assessments not merely difficult, but counterproductive. This understanding offers a profound opportunity for those fortunate enough to have an Aries in their lives. By meeting their authenticity standard, by presenting ourselves with courage and clarity matching their own, we gain access to perhaps the most loyal, passionate, and protective ally the zodiac offers. The Ram's fire, when not directed against detected deception, becomes a powerful force for creation, innovation, and transformation that benefits everyone in their circle. If this exploration has illuminated your understanding of the Aries in your life, or your own nature if you're a Ram yourself, please support Secret of the Zodiac by subscribing to our channel now. Your subscription enables us to continue bringing these cosmic insights that transform relationships and deepen astrological understanding. Hit that like button to help these revelations reach others navigating complex connections with the Zodiac's warrior sign. We invite you to explore our extensive library of Zodiac insights covering every sign with the same depth and psychological precision demonstrated in this video. Whether you're seeking to understand your Scorpio partner's mysterious depths, your Taurus friend's unshakable stability, or your Gemini colleague's dual nature, our channel offers the astrological wisdom you need to navigate these relationships successfully. The conversation doesn't end with this video. Share your experiences with Aries authenticity standards in the comments below. Have you witnessed the Ram's truth detection in action, experienced their volcanic response to detected deception, benefited from their unwavering loyalty when you've met their authenticity expectations? Your stories create a community of shared astrological wisdom that enriches everyone's understanding. For those who find particular value in these cosmic revelations, please consider supporting our work through Super Thanks. This financial contribution helps offset the considerable costs of producing daily zodiac content of this quality and depth. Your generosity directly enables us to maintain our production schedule, enhance our research resources, and continue bringing these transformative insights to our growing cosmic community. Every contribution, regardless of size, represents significant support for our mission of illuminating human relationships through astrological understanding. until our stars align again in the next exploration. Remember that authenticity isn't merely an Aries preference. It's the foundation upon which all meaningful human connection is built. By embracing the Ram's uncompromising standard in all our relationships, we create connections characterized by depth, resilience, and transformative potential that benefit every aspect of our lives.